Hi there, this is Tom North. If you like this recording, please like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with all of my latest work. Chapter 3, Part 1. The sun was about to burst. My high-vis jacket was rubbing against my nipples, moving the sweat that was clinging to my hairs. My tongue was dry and my thighs were soaking. Everything was the wrong way round. I'd been driving this digger to and fro all morning, feeling the heat intensifying as the sun stretched higher into the sky. I didn't know how much longer I could last before melting into a puddle on the ground. Mounds of dirt sitting like lead in the oversized metal shovel and then dripping slowly down like lava as I pulled the lever towards me. Even watching the mud and grit pour out made me think of running water. What I wouldn't give to be sat on the beach with a bottle of beer, watching the curves of the sea reflecting bikinied arses into my eyes. My cock twinged slightly against my tight white underwear, the sweat creating even more friction. Luckily, I'd managed a few days' work on the site since my day in the office. Things were starting to look up, and there was at least a chance I might be able to pay my rent this month. The world was looking that much brighter. The site manager came into view to my right. His hard helmet was slipping around on his bald, sweaty head. He was waving his arms at me, signalling for me to stop the digger. I twisted the key in the ignition, and the digger rumbled to a stop. My ears were ringing from the sudden silence. He jogged awkwardly up to the cabin door. A weird smile was on his mouth, but it didn't match the look in his eyes. "Everything all right, mate?" I asked. "Oh yeah, all good. All good. Just, can we have a little chat?" "Yeah, I'm free as a bird," I chuckled. The heat from the sun was sticking to me. I jumped down from the cabin and made my way down to eye level with Mark. "What's up?" He stared at me, a little bit of sweat trickling down his stubble. "Listen, mate, really sorry about this, but we're going to have to let you go." "What do you mean you've got to let me go?" "I mean we can't have you working here. Sorry, mate." A ribbon of anger knotted in my gut. I looked in his eyes, trying to work out if this was some sort of joke. His eyes twitched with a nervousness that could only be real. Another bead of sweat licked his cheek. What was he so worried about? "Mind telling me why?" I asked. "Well, it's nothing personal. It's just we're having to make cutbacks. We're well over budget for this project. The council keep fucking us over with the planning permission delays." "Don't give me that. Your mate in the office told me that you ain't even bothering with planning permission." "Well, my mate in the office doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a job's worth trying to justify his paycheck." I shifted from one foot to the other. "Mate, I need the money from this job. You know how hard it is to get on a project these days. Even government projects are being cut left, right and centre. I need some way to put food on the table." "Listen, I really am sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. We can pay for you for the rest of the day, but that will have to be it." "Forget about it, mate. I don't need this bullcrap." I tugged my high-vis from my torso and stuffed it into his arms. It felt good to let my skin breathe properly. I started off with intention to the site exit, the third time I was stomping away from this place in anger. Then I remembered my last attempted walk out of here. I remembered Tom, sitting in that office, surrounded by paper. I remembered the way his suit trousers hugged his arse cheeks. Why was I thinking about his arse cheeks? He offered to let me come back and work with him, but I'd refused. Being around him made me so uncomfortable. I couldn't escape the feeling that he had the hots for me. Who could blame the poor guy? Maybe it wouldn't be too bad to go to work for him. He seemed like a nice guy. Maybe I'd just have to lay down the law and make it clear that I wasn't interested in him in that way. Diffuse the tension straight away so we could get on with working. I didn't really have much of a choice. How else was I going to make enough to pay rent this month? All right, that decided it. I had to at least ask him if the job was still on offer. What else did I have to lose? I'm sure I could cope with fending off a harmless little gay boy for a few weeks while I earned some crumb. Next minute, I found myself marching into the porter cabin where he'd been working. The place was empty. Most of the paperwork was neatly packed away, and the place looked like it hadn't been touched that day. Come to think of it, I didn't remember seeing him come into work this morning. Not that I was really paying much attention to what he was up to. Why would I? Well, fuck. Maybe he'd finished what he needed to do. I dropped into the security desk at the front. "All right, fella, don't suppose you've seen that Tom bloke today, have you? The accountant guy?" I asked the security guard.
"Nah, mate, he's all finished up. Think he sorted it all."
"Oh, right. No worries." I made my way to the gate. I could feel my skin hardening and a drip of black oil spreading out in my stomach. What was I going home to? Nothing. My life was empty. Tom would be in his cushy little townhouse, sipping on a G&T most likely. Prick. There was a twitch in my groin. I found myself leaning back towards the security guard. "Don't suppose you've got his number, have you?"
"Data protection, mate. Can't just hand information out."
"He won't mind. He was meant to give it to me, but he forgot."